I'm stuck in my head, lost in my dreams, and I don't understand what none of it means. My heart's hungry, it needs something to eat. Plus I'm hot-blooded, I'm at least 100 degrees. But so far, my cold heart feels like it ain't much stronger. It's so hard when you're so far away from your brain that you treat the pain like God.
Sweep sellers at 5,798.5.
No one, he's so nothing. Who's that? It's Mr. No One, Mr. No One, no one loves him. Who's that? It's Mr. No One, Mr. No One, no one, not yet. Who's that? It's Mr. No One, Mr. No One, no one loves him. No one loves him. Yeah. Walking through the shadow of the valley of death, but this ain't a battle, this is barely a test. Hear my lungs rattle when I'm taking a breath, yelling goodbye to no, hello to yes, better than sex, hello to love, goodbye to foreplay, let's go get rough. I picture your face, can't get enough to keep up with your pace. I bet to run, I feel the blood rush up to my head, I felt my bones break, I felt my soul ache. I've had my whole life come to an end, but I've been reborn again and again and again. I'm stuck in my head, lost in my dreams, and I don't understand what none of it means. My heart's hungry, it needs something to eat. Plus I'm hot-blooded, I'm at least 100 degrees. But so far, my cold heart feels like it ain't much stronger. It's so hard when you're so far away from your brain that you treat the pain like God. Who's that? It's Mr. No One, Mr. No One, he's so nothing. Who's that? It's Mr. No One, Mr. No One, no one loves him. Who's that? It's Mr. No One, Mr. No One, no one, not yet. Who's that? It's Mr. No One, Mr. No One, no one loves him. But no one loves him. Yeah. A mister. Yeah. They said, who's that? It's Mr. No One. It's Mr. No One. It's Mr. No. Yeah. Who's that? It's Mr. No One. It's Mr. No One.
What is going on? What's going on, traders? Welcome back to another live stream here. Making sure you can hear and see. Everything looks good. If you're new, my name's Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. We will be checking out ES on TopstepX, my preferred platform of choice. Make sure you read this disclaimer first. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say or do here or anywhere else is financial advice or a suggestion or recommendation to do anything. I'm an idiot and I'm just trading on YouTube. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. You're probably going to lose money if you trade. You should talk to a financial advisor before you do anything. But let's go ahead and jump into my morning here on ES. Interesting overnight with Asia pushing up after just choppy NYSE sessions. So we'll take a look at that together. Market is just never ceasing to amaze me or anyone else. But this is TopstepX right here. This is, again, my preferred platform of choice, prop firm and trading platform. I've got a couple combines loaded up. We got 3 50K combines daisy chained together. I traded these this morning rather than an XFA. We had Jerome Powell speaking. Red folder at 9:20. Figured that combined with the ridiculous push up over Asian session after not doing it during NY would just make for some more difficult trading conditions rather than put risk on in the XFAs. Figured I would just loosen up in the combines and went okay. This one was a long, right? Here's NYSE session open, 9:30. Can get rid of that. I'm running some really clean charts as well today. Figured I got most of the levels hidden. This stuff corresponds with the normal levels that I mark: overnight highs and lows, prior day highs and lows, all that fun stuff. We set 15-minute opening range down here, and we cracked to the upside. Was looking for this to push back up after breaking below VWAP, finding some support, and then starting to push back up. Bought into this, buying pressure. Momentum to the upside. You can see how that one played. Immediate reversal. This was very aggressive. I cut that one less than halfway to, or right around halfway to the stop. Initial stop loss was down here. And as we were rejecting really harshly, got short very quickly. Sold into that selling pressure. Started to see levels on Bookmap. Look out below, and you can see how that one played. Played out very nicely. Was in with 3 on this one. Scaled out on the way down. So 1 win, 1 loss. Nothing really to write home about as far as P&L, but felt good to catch some movement in ES, man. If we go ahead and zoom out, that's my side-by-side 5-minute. Let's go ahead and zoom out and just take a look at the chart together. Here's what we've been looking at on the U.S. indices over the past few days. Choppy, right? Difficult to work with price action. Maybe this is great for you guys. You're trading sweeps of highs and lows and you're getting in. It's great. We opened up bullish yesterday. Looked like we were cracking the highs, and then we just had this really choppy back and forth sell-off to the downside. Pressed it short a couple times. Just didn't play nice with me. Closed. And then overnight, Asia session run up. So I tweeted today, I joke around about the markets. Like, are we just going to be chop city for, New York session now and Asia session's going to run? We had that move here after, this is NYSE session during FOMC. And then look at what happened for Asia session. Nice big clean trend to the upside, and then just chop city again. So we had some movement to the downside. It was actually nice to get some follow through, right? We come down, we break VWAP to the downside. We wick up really nicely here. We start selling off. That's an indication. I'm getting short. I gotta play this to the downside. This was my initial target, coming down into these highs, right? Prior highs broken in an uptrend. Felt that was reasonable. Again, Bookmap was a help on this one as well. So, again, this is my 100-tick chart and 5-minute. Yeah, VWAP looks good. A little bit cleaner charts. Again, I don't have the labels on everything today. Just felt like cleaning it up. Keeping things super duper clear and simple. Being able to flow with the market, whether we're going to chop or move up or move down, just stay flexible. Preference. That's it. I know what the levels are that I'm looking at. For you guys, it's all in Discord. Marked up, with the labels. You want to know where everything is. Hop in that free Discord. So we came in, really bottomed out around here. I was considering looking short. This was a trade I was looking at. Pulled back up, and then as soon as we started to break the first low in this little 100-tick uptrend, I was looking to get short. Just wasn't quick enough to the jump. This was some pretty fast back and forth action. Started to see levels on Bookmap down right around here. Not below the low, right? Not at a super obvious level. Wins for Bookmap. But that would have played nicely if I ran it really, really tight like this. Would have given me, maybe I would have shot for like a 1.25 or 1.5, something like that. Somewhere down around these lows. But wasn't quick enough on the jump. And now we are chopping around like we want to move higher. I could see the tilt, everybody getting long in the U.S. indices. This looks like we want to recover, right? If we are looking at this from a higher time frame perspective, when the market moves a lot during NYSE session, I don't mind zooming out. I don't mind jumping back out to the 5-minute and the 15-minute. If we're within these ranges, I can understand what's going on. We're really not breaking above or below any levels. I don't have to get so zoomed out. I can get a feel for what's going on the 5-minute that I run on the side. But if I zoom out here on the 15-minute, you can see the case being made to say we are in an uptrend, right? This chart's not moving down right now. If you zoomed way out, the U.S. indices, the stonks are going up. This, to me, could be nice breakout above these highs. Put the high in, pull back down, retest these highs, right? Nice clean break and retest structure before continuing to the upside. So, although we are below VWAP, down pretty low on the session, obvious downtrend for this session, right? Looking down on this, I could see us pulling back up. I'm not going to jump in just yet, but I'm going to stay flexible on this. I'm going to try to flow with this market. Sorry for making you guys dizzy. If you don't know, TopstepX, you got to zoom back out if you change charts 100 times to get the VWAP back in the right spot. Nice. There we are. There we are. Beautiful, beautiful. So let's see where we head from here. Right now, gun to my head, I'm thinking a cheap long. Stop below the low. Targeting to move back up, at least to VWAP. You can get really aggressive. Maybe just go below some level of structure as we start to pull back up. Would have played decently on the way back up here. If you were getting long up here, it would have been too early for you. So let's wait and see. Let's see what Bookmap has to offer. Couple bits of housekeeping if you're on here. What's up? Welcome. Andre, what's going on? I am giving away multiple Top Step 50K combines for charity. You can donate to either charity that I have linked in here. Full information is in the free Discord. You can hop in the free Discord. But essentially, it's one entry for every $1 you donate to charity and a free entry for reposting the video that I have on Instagram and Twitter. Announcing some winners for that next week. Help yourself out. Help a charity out. Help Top Step out. Help me out. Looking at Bookmap. Yeah, before I hopped on, we had some gnarly levels popping up above. I am a partner for Bookmap and Edgeful. Full disclaimer there. Using Bookmap before I became a partner, testing it out for a couple months. Really, really like it. Let's go ahead and show you guys that right now. This is Bookmap, my favorite order flow software. Trading like Predator, looking at a heat map. I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie, Predator and then Alien vs. Predator. The thing sees in like heat vision, and I always think of that when I'm trading on Bookmap. That's how my dumb mind works. So you have your depth of market right here. You've got your current order book. These are volume profiles. We've got some other tools down here. Cumulative volume delta. But these are price levels for ES, and this is the resting orders, the quantity of resting orders on the book, on the bid and the ask, and that information is displayed in a heat map. This is real-time level 2 data. This is going to be real-time level 2 data. Everything left of this line right here is historical. Bunch of different add-ons you can utilize for this stuff. Really, really cool. I'll show you two that I've been playing with that have been pretty helpful. You'll hear them start yelling. This is the Global Plus package, and I use Bookmap data for level 2 data. A couple ones that I have configured are large trades, sweeps, and absorption. Essentially, large trade alert is going to give you exactly what it sounds like, and so will the other two. It's going to tell you when a very large trade, based on whatever you set that qualifier to be, maybe it's over 100 on ES, it'll alert that both on the screen and in a message. And the absorption and sweeps, essentially, it's telling you when a high volume of trading has taken place in a very short amount of time. That's the basis of it. And for me, in the elementary way that I like to utilize these tools, it's like a quick heads up, right? It's almost like being in the pit back in the day. And I think that's kind of what they've tried to do with Tick Strike. You start to hear something. Maybe I'm talking to you guys, I'm not paying attention to the chart for 30 seconds or a minute. We're getting near a breakout zone. We start to get a lot of volume traded. This thing starts shouting it out. Sweep of sellers, absorption, large trade alerts, starts kind of shouting at you. And it can be a nice attention grab. Can be used if you're trading volume and momentum, all right? Sometimes it gets a little bit annoying. You can filter it, have it filtered to not be yelling at me too much. But I actually have the automatic setting on with a little bit higher standard deviation for sweeps and absorption, but you'll hear it call out a couple times probably if I leave it on here. So looking at Bookmap, again, the way that I use it, I'm looking for areas of liquidity, large stacks of orders resting on the bid and ask, areas of interest. Right now, we've got one down here at 57.89. Is that, yeah, just above our low, right around here. We got some liquidity down there. Not a huge amount, but definitely something on the book outside of just the liquidity bands, the algorithms that kind of track above and below price that just make it more difficult to read. So maybe we have to come down into that, but nothing crazy that was on the book before we saw, yeah, as we started to come up here, there was quite a bit of liquidity on the book that came off. You can see that right here. Right here. This was on the book. You can see it on the order book itself. Quite a large stack of orders right there. We didn't quite come up into it as it came on the book, really right as we got there, and has come off. But I look for stuff like this. You know, we got big liquidity above or below price. Price seems to like to go and trade towards that, trade into it, maybe react there really harshly, maybe push through it. But that's Bookmap. Again, I'm partnered with Bookmap. I'll give you guys a link right now. Feel free, check it out. If not, no problem, man. I partner with companies and tools that I use myself, that I actually believe in. I know I'm starting to repeat this a lot, but I could have sold out a whole long time ago with a bunch of garbage companies and made a whole bunch more money than I'll probably make with Edgeful and Bookmap. A lot more. But none of that stuff is helpful. Getting scammed by Forex prop firms with HFT passing bots is not helpful. I think it's harmful, and you're probably going to burn in hell for a long period of time if you go down that road of just being a outright scammer. So we're not going to do that. We're going to take the straight and narrow path and just be a normal human and say, hey, here's what I do for trading. Here's the tools that I use. These companies have either reached out or I've reached out to them, and I can get you a nice discount, maybe a 7-day free trial if you want to check out Edgeful. I'm going to throw that one in there. I'll talk about that chart, that platform later. Kevin, what's up? I know I've absolutely flooded the chat with links, but you got Discord. You got both charities for the 50K giveaways coming up next week. You can win for as little as $1 or for free if you just repost the video on Twitter or YouTube, Instagram. And then you've got my Bookmap and Edgeful affiliate links. So, don't have a trade just yet, guys. Like I talked about, want to get more zoomed in, want to trade with you guys here. Maybe a really, really aggressive short. That's all I could see as far as playing out right away. Quick break to the downside around these lows. We've really failed to move higher. We failed to pull back down and bounce. This looks like we could come down into this area. If we are just going to start pushing to the upside and continue this trend up, I'll look to get long. But gun to my head right here, right now, I'm going short with a quick trade like this. Something along those lines. It's really not a beautiful risk structure. Right above that high, just these 5-minute bar highs. Looking for a break to the downside, fill some liquidity. But not a great risk structure. Pretty tight for a stop loss. Not a super big opportunity unless we break to the downside. But again, I don't know that I want to be holding for another break to this downside yet. I'd want to see us come all the way down here and then start to break. You know, then I'm shorting that breakout. That's the move for me. But we'll see. Might have to try this one short. We'll take a look. Yeah, we got some below that it looks like we might want to come into. Again, I like trading along with the trend, especially the trend of the day, right? If we're down on the day like this, I like to look for shorts. But like I showed a little bit earlier, if you zoom out after some large movement like this, you might recognize that we are at a support level if we are looking on higher time frames where we might want to check this out and then start to blast off to the upside. So I loved the trade down to this level. Do I love the trade just absolutely blasting out to the downside? No, I don't know that I do. Not until we get more structure down below. Right now I like short just for a quick move down to these lows. There we go. We got Bookmap yelling at me a little bit. That's what I was talking about. You'll hear that in the background. it gets too loud or too annoying, too frequent, I'll turn it off. But that's going to alert with a lot of volume traded in a short amount of time relative to the volume that's being traded today, and or individual large trades being filled. What's up? What's up, Juan? What's up, guys? Welcome back. Welcome back. How did you guys make out today? How did everybody do? I saw Dre was posting. Tough day yesterday. Bouncing back with some wins today. That was cool to see. Juan, interested to hear, man. You've been keeping me updated. But for me, today felt a little more normal, right? I was light on risk, trading combines, just being a little bit more risk averse for my overall trading based on what we had going on the last few weeks and coming into today. But today felt a little more normal, right? We open up bearish. We find a little bit of support at VWAP. We break to the downside. We actually get some movement. We get some normalcy. We don't just sweep up and down or crack back and forth, stop on a dime, V-shaped recovery, barcode, chop around. There we go. Here's a little bit of the short playing out. If we get down to these lows, let's take a look what happens. I think that's the larger move. All right, that might get a little bit annoying, but we'll see.
Absorption buyers at 57.92. Sweep sellers at 5,791.75.
Got volume being traded. Again, just looking at Bookmap over to the side, seeing what's popping up below. All right, I'm going to have to increase the filter a little bit on that.
Price 5,793.25. Size 100.
Let's try that, because that's too frequent. That's not nearly enough time between to understand that we don't have anything going on. So let's go for minimum tape size of 125, and we'll increase the filter on this this sweeps and absorption by just a little bit. We'll get the note when we get big volume traded, which looks like it might happen if we come down into this low. Yeah, so no trade just yet. Again, short down on this bad boy. A really nice engulfing candle on the 5-minute. Some serious movement down on the tick chart. Maybe as we're blasting against that right here, you'd be looking to get short. Stop loss just above here. Looking for a breakdown below these lows, or breakdown to these lows rather. We got trades being taking place. But right now we're kind of just chopping down around here. I think this could go either way from here. Big surprise. We might go up or we might go down. Probably won't go backwards. I could see us finding support. Again, trying to try these lows and just sellers not being able to take it any lower. Find some support and start trending back up. That short I probably would not have gotten out of. That would probably be a stop for break even. Maybe you're taking it like that, and you're at least going to go for a 1-to-1 right down around these lows where we've got some liquidity on the book around 790-ish. That would have been stop for break even for sure. Don't know that I would let it come all the way down here and then back up to stop me. To stop me out, rather, without hitting break even. Not on a quick one like that. Feels like we want to test the lows again, though. That's what I'm looking at. My gut tells me we want to come down and test these lows. Maybe break them. We had some nice opportunity to continue this move to the upside. You know, we are during NY lunch, traditionally lower volume, lower volatility. Here's a pullback where we could have continued to the upside. Now we're kind of drifting lower. Not really strong indication that we want to, you know, pull to the downside, right? Like you get a move like this, crack up above the highs, and then immediately down. That to me is get short, and that's exactly where I got short after getting long and getting stopped out over here, or closing a losing trade in for drawdown. And then that one played really nicely. Same thing like this. You get a really nice pullback. Maybe it just cracks above highs, and then sellers immediately step back in, take this thing lower. You could see it on the chart, you know, big pullback up, and then failed right away, engulfing bar to the downside. You know, that's the momentum that I like to see. Like, you know, buyers step in, take this thing higher. Price needs to come up, maybe stop everybody out, whatever reason, you know, grab some liquidity, and the move immediately continues with momentum and some force in the direction that you're looking to trade. You know, once we start to get this, right, like here's the pullback, let's see this thing continue. That failed. You know, we chopped around these lows, drifted higher, broke above these highs. If we're going to start moving higher, you know, here's our nice trend up, right? Some big candles on the 5-minute, not very big, but decent size. We get some movement to the upside. It's just my reading of price action and market structure. We pull back. Let's see that continue, right? Buyers stepping in, normal breaks and retests, you know, pullbacks in an uptrend. Now we've had an opportunity to do it there. We failed. We've come lower. We've had an opportunity again. We've just got lower drifting price action on the chart. So it feels somewhat weak, at least down around these lows. I think this is decision-making time, right? If I wanted to mark my chart up a little bit clearer, which I was doing just with zones today rather than 1,000 lines. It's feeling a little bit messy. Wanted to just clean that up. That's the point that we're watching, right? Do we crack this low right here? Or do we find some support down here and start pushing up? Again, this zone coming off of prior highs, looking left, that area of consolidation. This is another line in the sand, or oh no, not really line in the sand. This is kind of middle ground in the zone. Tested a support and resistance a few times, and then some lows coming down off here. Close the day up $1.60. TopStep TV is long ES. TopStep TV is long. Let's see what those boys are doing. TopStep TV is awesome. If you guys don't know, I'm on there for Power Hour, end of the day, 3 p.m. I'll be back on there Tuesday next week. Excited to be back on there. It'll be fun. Let's see. They got Isaiah on there, and the house account is long. Long 1 ES. Yeah, I see it. I see it. Looks like Adobe range trade. I could see the long from down here, right? It's a cheap trade. Looks like they're looking to scale in, adding to it. Pretty wide stop loss. Interesting play. All right. Here's what these guys are looking at, just so we can look at it together. Looks like they are in long one here. They're looking to scale in. He's on a 30-minute chart. He's got a nice trend line looking to the upside. If we come down and break that, he's looking to get out. Interesting play. Interesting play.
Size 145.0.
Short from 52.08, Kevin says. Excuse me, 58.02. 52.08 would be a really low price.
Absorption buyers at 57.90. Price 57.90. Size.
All right, I'm gonna kill this thing soon if it keeps going. But we got volume being traded right here around the lows. It's gonna make some noise if we start to crack this. Yeah, I don't love the long from down here, but again, I'm not trading the 30-minute time frame, with a wide stop loss like that. They're going for a much larger move on that. They're going to allow for a lot more movement within the low time frames for that to occur. I'm looking more zoomed in. I've been trying to get more zoomed in so I can get a higher frequency of trades on with you guys. Want to get some live trades here, trading live.
Absorption buyers at 57.92.
Yeah, back and forth here. Back and forth. I don't know that I want to short the breakout. This is a pretty big level.
Buyers at 5,700.
If I'm gonna short the breakout, like as we're coming down, I'm getting not a terrible entry, but I'm gonna assume that even if we start to crack lower, we're gonna pull back up, and I'm gonna run a pretty wide stop to do that, to survive that. My other option is to wait right as we come down, short directly into that momentum, and run a really tight stop loss. Just try to capture the first crack to the downside. Maybe have a take profit sitting right down there, and just look to capture the quick move down. Very, very tight stop. If the breakout fails, if it finds support and comes back up, you're stopped out quickly. That's kind of a trade you want to be ready to take 1 or 2 times, and be wrong on it before you're right. That type of deal. So different, the same approach, looking for market structure, price action, utilizing Bookmap, utilizing, the stats from Edgeful to say we're below IB low. It's not likely that we come all the way back up to break initial balance high. But the way that you structure your individual trades can be different. And one of Austin Silver's guys, Zach, posted a really cool tweet. It was actually a response to somebody else's tweet about the 1-minute chart and whether or not you should be on the 1-minute chart. And I don't want to butcher his response, but essentially it's important to understand how you're structuring trades. If you're looking to capture these large moves and then you're structuring trades on the 1-minute chart, you're doing yourself a disservice. You should probably zoom out. But if you're basing your trading around price action and structure on the 5-minute and 100 tick, and you're going to run fairly tight stop losses and fairly tight take profits, that's okay. It's just, it's just going to develop a lot faster. Little bit different of a style of entry and trade management, but it's mainly structure, right? If you back test, if you stare at charts long enough, you'll start to notice time frames are fractal, right? That's how it's referred to. Price action and market structure looks the same on the higher time frames as it does on the lower time frames. It develops the same. I'd say outside of the extremes, if you get really low or you go really high, that might not hold true. But for the most part, looking at an hourly versus a 4-hour, or a 15-minute versus a 30-minute or 5-minute, that price action market structure is going to look the same and form the same. You're going to see the same style of trends and breaks and retests. You're just much more zoomed in on one and more zoomed out on the other. And I think it can be helpful to take into consideration those higher time frames. And if you drop to the lower time frames, that's cool, but be ready to structure your trades and trade on them. And my response to that tweet was, I have to constantly remind myself of that. Coming from primarily Forex, swing trading, higher time frames, I'm holding for these larger moves. I like to structure with a wider stop loss. And oftentimes, I'll catch myself, even like today. Let's go back and dig into it while we're waiting to see what happens down here. As I'm taking this breakout to the downside, right? Long failed over here. I get short on the tick chart in the 5-minute, up here. And I go stop loss above this wick. Now, I think I was 1275 or something like that. So somewhere up here, right before we started to crack and had that gap on the tick chart. This trade's fine and it played out nicely, but this is a pretty dang wide stop loss to run and a wide take profit. I'm capturing a large move. I can really do myself a service zooming much farther in, right? Still paying attention to all this structure. Say, okay, we failed to go higher here. We wicked up. Now we're coming down with force. Let me run a tighter stop loss, maybe just above some level of structure up here, just back above VWAP, and I can capture a quick win. 1-to-1 is right there, all the way, almost 1-to-4. Structure my trade appropriately. I'm selling into selling pressure. If it bounces right here, I'm wrong, and that's okay because the thesis is it's going to break right here, right now. That's what I'm, selling into. And you can structure your trade, according to that. This trade is not the same to say I'm going to have a stop loss that small and then go for a huge move, although it would have played out today. But I think that's where guys should start to focus when they're talking about different time frames. You want to trade the 5 minute, you want to trade the 15, you want to trade the 1. Like it's all fine. Whatever works for you, so long as you can react fast enough and it fits your approach. But you should really look at how you structure your trades. If you're zoomed in like I am on the 100 tick right here, I probably shouldn't be entering trades that are going to, look like this. Right? Something like that. There's really not a need for me to be on here and look at all this noise. I probably want to be on the 15 or 30 minute like you see the guys on Top Step, right now doing. Structure your trade according to the chart that you're trading on. Simple as that. So I thought that was a cool response from him. Shout out Zach from ASFX, Austin Silver's team. A lot of orders at 57, 87, 50. Let's look at Bookmap together, guys. Kevin says a lot of orders at 57, 87, 50. That's looking like the right now it's being overlapped by algorithms, Kevin, so I can't really see. Again, on Bookmap, there is a Trader Pro feature which I haven't experimented with yet, but it gets rid of this algorithmic liquidity. Like if I zoom out, you can see it really clearly. This is real live liquidity in the market on the heat map. This is real live liquidity, these areas here. This stuff just seems to track. There's obviously some underneath here. I don't have an answer to exactly what these liquidity bands, this algorithmic stuff is doing other than making it harder to use Bookmap and read a DOM. But it looks like there is some underneath here just based on the discrepancy between this big peak right here and this peak right here, which would be this liquidity up here, this algorithmic crap. But I can't tell for certain. If I zoom in on it, yeah, it looks like we got some orders down here. So I could see that. But, be cautious of the stuff that's kind of getting overlapped. Like you could see there was liquidity right here. And, this band came down into it and kind of covered it up. But you could still see it there. And you could actually see it getting traded and filled. You could see the volume. I see this down here that seems to be staying on the book. Got some stuff close to price. Again, I run this pretty zoomed out. There you go. That's a nice stack of orders on the book right down here at 780. Yeah, I see this down here. That's on the book. But again, so many different ways you could utilize this. So many different ways you can set this chart up. Guys will run this and have it look completely different than me. I run it pretty zoomed out. I like to display, a larger amount of data, not get too zoomed in, and just look for really large areas as they pop up above and below price. And again, more recently, utilizing some of the additional tools I have up on the chart that I'm just starting to take a look at, especially the ones that yell at me and say, hey, stop talking, pay attention, like we're about to get now. If we start to break this low and come down into this, I'd be surprised if that thing didn't start making noise. What do we think, guys? Short the breakout? Short the break of lows? That's kind of my only play right here. Let me know what you think in the chat. Out of topic, how do you put two charts on Top Step? Right up here, brother, on TopstepX. This is your layout. You can select this one right here. If you just click one, it goes back to one chart. I'm tempted to try this thing short now that we came all the way back down. From here, it would have played pretty nicely. There's the break. Let's wait for a little pullback.
Absorption sellers at 5,000.
There's Bookmap yelling at me. Let's see. Are we just going to wick below, or are we going to head to this next level that we have on the chart on Bookmap? This 5780. That's getting bought right back up. Again, we're all the way down at lows for the day. We're pretty far extended. Yes, we had a chance to move higher, and this still is looking very bearish. We are just putting the new low of session in right here, right now. But, you know, what is the trade thesis? Do I think it's going to continue running lower for the day? Am I just going to go for a quick, you know, move to the downside? That one wouldn't have played too nicely. Like a 1-to-1 wouldn't have even filled right there. And, you know, we found some support here, some serious support. Testing it, cracking it right now. But I think I'm going to be late to the party selling into a trend that forms to the downside. Try to catch the slow zombie drift if that's what we're going to see. 12:43, so we got time left in the day. Still think this thing can find support and move up. I don't know about longs from right down here. Again, I think it's a cheap trade. That could be a level of liquidity to trade towards at 780. Not super strong, not a massive amount on the book, but it makes the case that price may want to head down there. Certainly, if we were even closer than that, I would love to have something on the book down here. You know, really heavy. That would be an easy target to trade towards. For sure, man. For sure. Just checking out the boys in Discord. Cool. PDEQ do open. 5783. Yeah, down here. Got you. We got another level down here. Yeah, I don't like how that was bought right back up, right? I don't like how we didn't get any follow through, any continuation. So that's not making the case for shorts. Again, choppy down here, right? Kind of choppy down here. I'm going to wait to see. I'm not going to buy the first break after we, you know, chopped around and pulled all the way off these highs. You know, here's the low. We already came 17.25 points or so in ES off those lows. Now we're all the way back down again at them. If I want to run a really wide stop, like I talked about, I say, hey, the thesis is we're going to continue lower for the day. If we came up above this high, I'm dead wrong. I think we're going to come higher. That's how I would structure that trade. That's a trade that would take a while to play out, I think. I'm looking for something a little bit quicker than that. So we'll chill out and we'll see. Appreciate you guys being on. Welcome to the show. If you guys got trading questions, feel free to ask in the chat. Happy to talk about trading with you here as we're hanging out watching the market, trying to get a trade on. I've had a lot of no trade sessions here on YouTube because this market has been pretty trash in my humble opinion. Again, that's my opinion. For you, you might say, Zach, the last few weeks have been absolutely awesome. I'm cleaning up. I'm passing, you know, challenges. I'm making money in live accounts. You know, this is exactly what I need to trade. And that's okay. For me, and for what I see a lot of others, it's not. It's difficult. It's choppy, back and forth, not a lot of follow through, fake outs, just what Irregular is not a great word to use because the market is very unique every day, but somewhat irregular when you compare it against historical price action and market structure. For NYSE session, these big moves over Asia trending, difficult to work with. So when I don't have anything clear on the chart, man, cash, they say no trade, no position. That's a position. I believe that's true. Again, I talked to you guys in Discord, said I was zooming in, and I am looking to get a higher frequency of trades on, be able to talk about them, whether they're winners or losers, but size down and just take more trades, right? But at the same time, like if there's not anything for me, I don't have really some entry criteria, even with the discretionary approach that I use. I'm not just going to randomly put trades on because I'll just take a lot of losses and not have a reason to take them. I don't think that's helpful. So I'm doing my best with you guys to get live trading on, and it's interesting, right? I get an hour a day, maybe here on TopStep. I get 1 hour maybe every week or every other week for Power Hour to trade, and I did 3 sessions with those guys with no trade on, right? There's just nothing there. Anything I would have taken would have been a loss. I hopped on there with them and watched them take trades and, end up not playing out so good. I had one on the last session, took a win, made a few $100. That was nice, but there was something there for me. But it's an interesting dynamic, this live trading thing, right? You got to create a track record through live trading. You have to be able to display it and talk to people. But if you're not going to stream for 12 hours a day, you're giving yourself a real limited amount of time to get trades on. My morning session, I reserve focused up for myself and for guys that I'm working with one-on-one. So I do it here in the afternoon with you, but it's an interesting challenge. I'm up for the challenge, but it's tough, man. Wick down, bought right back up. I'm not sold on this long from down here. It certainly would be a cheap trade to get long on this. I could see that just be the low and a continuation. If we keep pushing, I might try it long. Again, I'm trying to stay very flexible from down here. This is the breakout really failing to the downside. We just wicked below and got bought right back up. I don't want to just be chasing price all over the chart, so I don't have one yet. But if this continues and we start to form this trend to the uptrend, to the upside on the low time frames, I might look to trade in the direction of that, back up towards VWAP, back up towards this high. We come lower, which we're doing right now. I'm looking short, but pivotal point right down here. And really up here once we get back up here above these highs. That's kind of what I'm looking at. See what we do from here, boys and girls. But we'll keep it simple. Price action, market structure, volume, momentum, all in the most basic sense. And we'll apply some experience and discretion. We'll apply our intuition a little bit within reason and say, we're going to use that in our trading. That's part of the edge. It is for me. I believe it is for most, manual retail traders. Market has been wild. Yeah, man. It's been wild. It's been crazy, man. Never ceases to amaze me. Wake up today after just choppy back and forth, and price has cracked right through 5,800. And Asia session was just a beautiful, clean uptrend. Straight to all-time highs. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Yeah, man, interested to see where we go from here. I don't want to be the bottom picker, but coming into the afternoon, sellers have really failed to take it lower than this point. And that was a nice little wick below. I do like that for a level of invalidation to say, yeah, if we continue back down below this point, I don't think it's just another wick down before we move up. I think we're probably likely to continue drifting towards this level. Tempted to look at this long. with a pretty tight stop. If we come down below that, I'd be looking short, down to that 780 level. It's like it woke up and chose violence. Yeah, the market woke up and chose violence. It did. It's been choosing violence every day for a while now. Yeah, again, this would be pretty damn counter trend, guys. Along from down here for the day. Again, I'd be playing off of that much higher time frame support zone that we found down here and really hammered against. I wouldn't be looking for a huge move to the upside. It would really just be a continuation, back up around these highs, tight risk structure. But I'm just going to give it a little bit more time, and I'm really flexible right now either way from this one. I could see us moving short. I could see us moving long. We're kind of at that pivotal point on the chart, which can be a good thing sometimes. Sometimes we're not. We're just chopping around in the middle of everything, and there's not a whole lot of clarity. But again, if you guys got questions, feel free to ask. Hop in the free Discord, giving away TopstepX accounts. All that fun stuff. Are you maybe overanalyzing? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know about overanalyzing. I just speak out what I'm thinking. So I'm sitting here watching the chart. I make a case both way. I try to say, hey, do I have an entry criteria setting up? Do I have something that is going to allow me to trade with my approach? If so, I put a trade on, so long as I can structure risk, right? Because that's always another qualifier. If I don't have a good invalidation point, I don't have a reasonable place to trade towards, that isn't a trade. But overanalyzing, no, I don't think so. Am I looking for a trade? Am I forcing a trade? Trying to find something? The case could be made that I do that a bit more when I trade live for those reasons that I was just talking about. Limited time with you guys. I get no trade sessions. There is pressure to trade live. I try to zoom in and tailor my approach and strategy to the low time frames, specifically so I can get some live trading in. If I'm swing trading or trading, off of the 15 and 30 minute and stuff takes, 3 or 5 hours to develop, not a whole lot for me to do when I hop on here live besides just talk about maybe trades that I'm in or trades that I've taken. But overanalyzing, I'm going to say no. I sit here and overanalyze all day. I just stare at the chart and create if-then statements for hours and oftentimes don't take a trade or, take multiple trades. Yeah, we're right down here at the bottom, man. Again, we crack lower. I don't think I'm going to get a whole lot more opportunity to the downside. I don't know that I'm going to get much more structure and we're just going to keep building. So my thought process is to get short on the breakout. If you watch my trading, you see a lot of my trades. That's kind of my MO. I'm shorting, selling pressure right into the lows, anticipating the breakout, catching that initial move. Back below this low or, back above these highs. That's really my points of interest so far on this chart. We chop here for forever. We just kind of go back and forth. Less direction, unclear on how we are able to trade that way. I think it's a win. I think to win a trade in this market, you have to be unpredictable. Trending down, go long. Yeah, man. It's been back and forth, right? Really, really back and forth. So, no continuation really. When we break out, a lot of times it just is going to turn V-shaped recovery, very, very back and forth. It can be choppy in the traditional sense, like choppy on price action, and then it can be these slow, tight drifting trends. So it's been difficult to work with for sure, man. Again, for me, that's personal. Maybe for you, this market's great. You love this price action and market structure. Over the last couple of weeks, again, today I thought was okay, a little bit more normal, for lack of a better term. But yeah, for the most part, I think most guys agree it's been pretty choppy, pretty range bound. You get expansion. Are we gonna break this? Are we gonna break it? Yeah, I'm getting ready to try this bad boy short. Got some momentum here, some volume below. I'm going to try it from down here. Let me try from down here with, let me decide if I want to go up here or lower. Just hammering out stop loss placement on this one, guys. But I'm short. I'm short for the break of these lows. Maybe a continuation down on the day, but at least to that level of liquidity on Bookmap that I'm looking at. If I'm wrong, I think I'll be wrong pretty damn quick. Buyers could be stepping in here, and we're just going to test these lows multiple times and drift up, like I was talking about. But so far, we're just continuing this kind of drift lower. So I'm taking it short. And if I have to get caught selling the low, so be it. I love to take those trades. I love to take those L's. Yeah, I'm going to go stop loss up where it is. It doesn't give me a lot of room to work, but it gives me over a 1-to-1 from down here. If I ran it, much tighter right here, I really wouldn't need to let the trade move much in my direction before I'm at a 1-to-1. But I'm going to run it up there, see what happens. Failing to follow through. We got some volume being traded, not an enormous amount, but let's see if we can't catch this break to the downside. But we got a trade on. Whether it's a winner or a loser, we could talk about it. We could talk about risk management. We could talk about trade management. So we'll see. Uh-oh, we got news coming out. What is news? What is it? I see liquidity off the book. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, guys. What is the 1 p.m. news? Because I see all the liquidity came off the book on Bookmap. Do I want to get out of this? Or am I going to hold into whatever's coming right here? I'm holding into it. 7-year yield, U.S. 7-year yield, and 7-year bid to cover. Both yellow folder, not super high impact, but all of the liquidity came off the book. So, well, this one will play out pretty quick then. For me, I check major financial news, red folder stuff I want to be really paying attention to. Yellow folder, like this one, 7-year, I'm not so worried about, but I can show you how I knew that was coming right away. I'm looking at Bookmap constantly on the side. Right here, all the liquidity comes off the book, these liquidity bands, and you can see real liquidity still on the book down here, but it gets real dark and ominous. It's like the calm before the storm. So this is my last like alert of, hey, we got maybe some financial news coming in. And that's what that was. Not a big reaction right here, but we'll see how this gets digested. Let's see what we can do, boys and girls. We're in the trade. explain why you go short here. Downtrend overall, right? Downtrend structure on the day. Hammering into these lows. Here's the basis of this trade. We found support down here. If we look at the 5-minute rather than the tick chart, which is kind of zoomed in, we found support down here, right? This was the level that I had marked on my chart. These highs, when we look left, right, coming off of this area right here, this area right here. We found support there. We pulled up here, came back down into it, found support again, pulled back up here. Buyers had a chance to take this thing higher a couple times, and they've really failed to do that. We've continued to hammer back into it down here and bounced off it a few times. We got bought right back up. That looked like a nice continuation to the upside, and it's just been sellers, continuing seller pressure down into this. So I'm looking for a break of these lows, selling into this selling pressure as we came down here, although we're rejecting to the upside right now, and targeting this next level down here. This is coming off of really just the middle of all that consolidation, but we've got another level of liquidity on Bookmap that I like to use as a potential target if I have one. So simple market structure, price action, no crazy concepts or anything insane, no 1,000 indicators, basic areas of interest, horizontal levels, and trying to trade with the trend. Again, a cheap long from down here could absolutely be the play. Stop loss down right below the low, great upside opportunity, right? Just back up towards these highs or maybe towards VWAP, but I'm looking for this to continue. Again, up above this high is where I said I'd be looking long. If this fails and we get all the way up here, I might be looking long. That's kind of the secondary piece. Kind of like what I had today, right? I had a long fail right here. Long fail on the way back up here. Got short, played out really, really nicely. I don't like to flip-flop too quickly, too often, but if I know pre-planned going into it, I'm at a pretty pivotal point on the chart, I don't mind making that decision. So we'll see. We're short, chopping around. Let me know if that answers the question, man. Let me know if that answers the question. Bro, you're chilling. Bookmap looks cool. ASFX, what's up, Austin? What's going on, my man? What's going on? Awesome. Glad I answered the question. ASFX, go check out Austin Silver. If you don't know who he is, you're living under a rock if you trade futures. Yeah, man, not breaking these lows. Really not breaking these lows. Bouncing right back up. Discretionary trade management. I give my options to cut. I give myself an option to cut losers, before they get to the stop loss. It's based on individual trades. For this one, really finding buyers right here. I may look to clip. Back up around that first somewhat of an invalidation point. I'm going to see, do we wick just above here, kind of just above these highs right here, and then kind of continue to react back down, or are we finally going to find buyers? But for now, I think I'm going to hold this one. I'm going to tell you, I think this is one that I will hold to the full stop out. This is, an option to cut it short halfway, but I still have faith. Let the trade play out. If it's a loser, it's a loser. We come back up here. Again, we find support. Maybe I'm looking long at that point. I think rotation will be more likely, but I think this thing can still continue lower. I'm willing to leave the $200 on this one, $193. We'll let the market do what it's going to do. That's it. That's all we can do, guys. How did you determine SL? It's a little too wide for my taste. Yeah, man. I mean, it's going to be different for everybody. For me, just looking at a clear level of invalidation, first spot was right here where I probably just would have got clipped. This is my next area, just looking off of structure, right? If we come all the way back up here, We fail to break these lows. We fail to continue this move. We pull back like we just did and try to continue lower. If we come all the way back up here, I think the trade's invalid. Here, I felt like we might be able to pull back up here like we just did and then continue lower and turn green before maybe engulfing back up to the upside. You know, we'll see what happens from here. But yeah, just structure based on levels of structure, looking left. That's it. Again, maybe you're structuring this like you're getting short right here, super duper tight stop loss, you know, right above prior bar high. And, you know, you want this thing to move in your direction right away, or you're wrong. Giving it a little bit more room to breathe. I don't think this is particularly wide. I think you would see guys take trades like this and run the stop loss way above this high, which is an even clearer level of invalidation, right? If you come all the way back up here, you're much more likely not to be drifting lower for the day. So that's the thought process on stop loss. We pulled back up. We got an engulfing candle to the downside on the 5-minute. We are trying to take this thing lower. If we fail again and come back up above these highs, I'm losing much more confidence in the trade. Right now, we've got new data that's printed, new information. If we pull all the way back up, I'm looking at this as a continued area where we're going to find support. And I think if we get back above these highs, it's not unreasonable to say that we're going to get back above these highs. I may look to clip the trade. Maybe we do come up here and blast right back down, but that would be my determination of this price action and structure. Less likely to continue. So I'm going to wait to see. Maybe it just absolutely runs the stop. But if we start to trend back up above this, I may look to clip this thing a little early. That's my trade management. Discretionary, not for everybody. You know, some guys are going to do much better with just leave your stop loss wherever it is, leave your take profit wherever it is. Maybe you go break even at a certain point in profit. I would say discretionary is harder, right? You're going to be wrong sometimes. You know, maybe I say right now, I don't like the way this trade looks, and I clip it, and then it absolutely dumps in my direction. Maybe I say, you know, this still looks good, and I hold on to it all the way to the stop loss. You know, it's going to be different every day, but if you apply some consistency to the way that you do it, which I think you'll find that I do if you watch me trade, and you can handle the mental toll, the psychological toll that it will take when you're wrong, because you'll inevitably be wrong, and you will have been better off if you just left the trade alone, you can positively impact your P&L. I think if you have the confidence to do it and the experience to do it, it's how you see a lot of profitable guys trade. Cut your losers short, let your winners run, manage your trades, you know, scale in, scale out, all that fun stuff. Testing these lows again. You know, again, I'm looking for a crack below, really in a continuation, but just given how much support we found here, I don't know that I'm going to press my luck on this one. Again, discretionary with trade management, right? Maybe this absolutely rips to the downside as soon as I enter. I'm probably holding that trade, right? I'm probably holding that thing all the way down. Now we found so much support here. We cracked below the low over here, and we didn't really continue, and we keep getting bought back up. You know, maybe it moves in profit with some choppy price action, and I say, okay, you know what? I didn't really even grab my initial risk to reward that I wanted, and you know, that's enough for me. I think this thing is much more likely to turn around at a certain point here than just keep blasting down. Sellers not taking it lower just yet, man. Would love to see the break of the lows. Again, we come back up above this area. I start to lose faith in the trade. I give myself the ability to close it early, but I make a game time decision. You know, I'm tempted to say I'm not going to clip this one just because it's choppy down here. I'm in down low. I'm selling for the break of the lows, and I'd like to just give it a little bit of room to breathe, right? If I closed up here, when we started to come up above these highs, I'd say, oh man, I took a $100 loss, and you know, I could have had a break even. Could have come all the way back down and be break even. So that's the thought process on trade management. But no one best way, right? You know, you find something that works for you and your system. Has to be appropriate for your style of trading, your strategy, right? Everything's got to line up to a degree. Hello from Brussels. What's going on? Following the midday anchored VWAP. Short at 93. Nice. Very nice. Very nice. On average, how big are your positions? It varies greatly, my man. Just completely depends on the account that I'm trading, the risk management that I'm taking on for that specific account. What the stop loss size is for that day, the volatility. It just depends. For me in these combines, I have 3 of them copy traded right now. 1 in profit, 2 are fresh as of today. This is pretty low risk. I trade combines pretty aggressively. Probably closer to that, upwards of like $500 risk per trade. I don't mind failing them on the way to passing more. For this trade specifically, copy traded across 3. And the way that I'm trading these today in these choppy market conditions, I want to give myself multiple trades. I want to allow myself to take a couple $200 losses on the way to a potential winner. But it just depends on the account, right? And the day. Maybe one day I'm risking $125 risk per trade in XFAs. And that means, based on my stop loss size and the volatility, a 2 micro, trade. Maybe on 2 days later, that's a 6 micro trade because volatility and volume is much lower. And, we're adjusting for that. So I think that's important to recognize. Position size based on your set risk per trade and where your stop loss has to go. And that will differ based on the volatility of that specific day, especially on low time frames on US indices. If you're running a fixed, like I trade 2 NQ every day, your risk is going to be all over the place. If you run a set stop loss, you should be accounting for volatility. Talk about that quite a bit. Just going to lock in here for a second, guys. Feel free to ask trading questions in the chat. I appreciate you all hopping on. I'm in short, trying to see if sellers can take this thing lower. They might fail here. We've tried it so many times. Every time we crack the low, it gets bought right back up. I don't like that type of reaction. I'm going to stay in it, but we get volume that's traded, and we're really failing to just create another, nice big leg down right now. I like this level of liquidity on Bookmap. That's going to be my initial target. I don't have one set, but that's going to be the general area that I'm looking to take profit. But again, discretionary, right? If we kind of chop around, we pull back up, I'll manage the trade as I see fit. If I don't think it's likely that we're going to pull back down here, we get close, we start to come all the way back up, I'll do a number of different things. In general, I like to hold my trades into profit. As we start to get close to take profit, maybe a 1-to-1 or halfway to a 1-to-1, I don't mind going stop loss to break even. It just depends. Like today, I didn't go stop loss to break even on my short earlier, and it helped. I would have been stopped at break even before price absolutely dumped. So it just depends on the structure and the situation right then and there. But there's some general rules, right? Like I don't like to move my stop loss farther away. I don't like to move it down and then move it back. Once I set it up, like you saw me doing earlier on this trade, it's kind of like a chess piece or a checker piece, however it works. I don't really want to be moving it back and forth. If I go break even, make the decision on the front end and then just stick with that. As far as scaling in and out, there we go. Can we continue on one of these? Bookmap telling me volume's being traded. Would love to see one of these pushes actually continue though. I liked this short on this break, man, but I'll tell you, the way that it's getting bought back up, I'm not in love with. There we go. There we go. I'm going to show you guys what I'm looking at on Bookmap here in a second. 80. Yeah, I'm going to go right above. Is it 80? Yeah, I think we can hit that. That's what I'm going to hold to on this one. Option to go stop loss to break even right now. I think a lot of guys would take that. I want to allow for a wick back up here. I could easily be letting a winner turn into a loser doing that. I'm shooting for, you know, a decent risk to reward. Actually, not even a stellar risk to reward, really. I'll make a game time decision if it comes all the way back up. You could also take partials over here. If you were in a similar trade, you want to manage your trade that way. Take 3 out of 5 off. You know, these are all trade management things that might work better today and worse on another day. All options. You could start scaling out now. You know, sell 3 of, buy 3 of 5, hold the remainder 2 down here. That's not that much, right? We're just halfway to a 1-to-1 relative to my first risk structure. So would like to see this continue. Would like to see sellers take this thing lower. Don't really care so much about grabbing $50 in profit on this thing. Here we come back up to retest, right? Normal structure, break and retest in a downtrend. Do we have to get bought right back up? Watching Bookmap, going to help me out as well. Man, bought right the hell back up on this long wick to the downside. Yeah, guys, I'm going to hold on to this one. I'm going to let this winner turn into a loser. I will let a $100 winner turn into a $200 loser on this trade. And I'll get the comments that say, never let a winner turn into a loser. Which for the most part, you know, makes sense. But going stop loss to break even, really at an area that is not conducive to allowing any kind of retest or structure to form, something normal, for me, hurts me in the long run. So I got a real clear level that I would like to grab. If we pull back down here and then all the way back up, I might have to clip it at break even. So now we got more data. Sellers are going to take this thing lower now, or I don't know that they are. Let's see it. Let's see it. Yeah, so at this point, I would go stop loss to break even. We find support down here without headed lower. I don't want to be in the losing trade. See it. Let's see if we can push lower. We're close. We are close. Can we get a win? Can we get a winner? Liquidity still there? There we go. There we go. Very nice. Here's the trade, guys. Bookmap. Hit the link in the description. Fair warning, I'm partnered with Bookmap. I stand to make money. But I was using it before I was a partner, and I would pay for it and use it even if I wasn't a partner. I find it very helpful. Here is the level of liquidity below price that I believed. Oh, that I believed that we may come into. And we may push right through. We may absolutely continue to run these lows. But this could be buying pressure right here, right? And we may find a pretty gnarly reaction. Was able to structure my trade in a nice positive risk to reward way to grab a little bit more if I was right and lose a little bit less if I was wrong. Able to get break even on the way down if we were going to come all the way back up before hitting this one. Would have got stopped for break even. But that's the trade, guys. Questions, feel free to ask. Feel free to ask. Happy about that one. Happy about trade management. That's kind of what we were looking like on this. Right, somewhere like an entry over here. Or was I over here? No, I was over here somewhere. That's it. We'll see. We'll see how this level is treated. Again, as we come lower, oftentimes these levels of liquidity are just absolutely eaten up. It's fuel to the fire. Price just continues lower. If there's nothing, oh, that's funny. That's a call from somebody that I have to call back. Trading related. If there's nothing below price after that, you know, maybe I say I don't know that I want to hold through it like this one. Again, also coming off of this level right here. This is looking left. If I zoomed out, you'd see it. Reasonable level to trade to, right? Using just basic structure. Simple trade. I'd say again, I was considering having a stop loss right down here. That might have taken me out. That would have been a painful one to watch. As we pulled back up after I got in, I was considering closing, right? Maybe on another day, I clip this loser short. That's okay. You know, in the long run, I know I'll let the trades play out and clip the loser short on the right side more often than not. So that's a trade. We got a nice winner, guys. $238 across 3 accounts today on combines. Nothing in the XFAs. Making a little bit of progress there. If this was XFA, profit is above $200. Lock it up. Yeah, man. To that point, I've kind of kept risk structure similar to what I was trading in XFAs, just for just for mentality side. And again, today, with the way the market's been and having FOMC speaker at 9:20, the crazy Asian move, I'm like, you know what? I'll just keep it light. I don't really have to worry about it. That point was the close. Point of control and value from yesterday, the overnight low and a gamma level. Yeah. For sure, man. I think this was another level if I had a... Again, I took a whole bunch off my chart today just because I wanted to clean things up. The way I finished marking it up and then came to it, it just felt way too busy for me. There you go. Very simple. Again, these zones are coming off of these levels, but this was overnight low. Overnight low from session. Session changeover yesterday all the way up until 9:30 a.m. What's the low that was put in? You know, there's overnight low. Up here you have overnight high. Right? Here's 9:30. Here's the high that was put in before 9:30. So, yeah. Again, I usually have a whole lot more levels on my chart. Hop in Discord. You'll see all my fun, fancy levels. And I'm probably going to do this from now on. Just keep my chart a little bit cleaner. Mark it up the same way and then maybe kind of hide some stuff. TradingView has this really cool feature where you can take a level and you can right-click on it, or you can click on the tool and you can hit hide. And then you can go to object tree, or you can come over here to object tree, and you can pull the level back up. So you don't have to delete things off your chart. You can hide them. Helpful. 3 hours waiting for that break. Nice. If you were in it for 3 hours and you waited for it and you held your trade, good job, man. Good job. Nice. We got a nice on that. I've seen price action consume long wicks in the short term several times. Yeah, sure. I see that, man. Again, I'm more of a structure guy. This is just preference in the way that I read the market. I feel that I'm better at reading structure as far as lows and highs and even momentum within candles or on the tick chart than I am with individual like candlestick patterns or chart patterns, looking at candlesticks. I like structure over price action, although I think structure falls into price action. So this could be like the same thing. But I like the tick chart for that reason. It's also pretty good at displaying volume and momentum. It starts moving pretty quick in your face. It can get you into trades the way that I like to jump in. But we had a couple more questions on here, so I'll answer them after we got the winner. But that was fun. It's always nice to get one on with you guys. Again, had we come higher, I would have looked at taking this long, just like I discussed earlier. Was waiting for us to start breaking the lows. We snapped it right here, and this really looked like we were going to get bought back up. We failed, coming lower, basic price action and market structure, following trend of the day, utilizing a level on Bookmap, utilizing some horizontal areas of interest, simple. Didn't go stop loss to break even all the way down here because, again, I felt we could come back up and retest before continuing lower. I went stop loss to break even as we pushed lower here because now, again, we have more data. If we do this, I don't want to be long anymore. I don't think we're coming lower. I think that was it. And we're probably going to pull back up and maybe come back up here or stop me out. So that was my discretionary trade management on this one. Again, maybe on another day, I'm tighter on this stop loss. This is a much nicer risk to reward trade. I can double up in size. It's a 2 1/4 to 1 instead of a, little over a 1 to 1. But, that's just based on what I'm seeing on the chart, the volatility, everything that goes into it. Juan, thank you, my man. How do you decide your short-term bias for intraday? For the most part, man, I try not to come into the day with a bias. I don't find marrying a bias at the open is helpful, especially when we have structure that looks like this. this crap. We are bullish overall, right? If I zoom way out, this is only the 5 minute, but if I zoom out on the 5 minute, we're bullish overall. If we zoom out on the US indices to a really high time frame, we know what happens in the long term, right? So I try to understand where we're at with this higher time frame market structure. You know, have we been selling off day over day and week over week? Are we pushing up? Are we chopping around, consolidating? But coming into the open, I really let the market do whatever it wants to do for the first few minutes. We want to sell off. We want to push up. I'm just going to stay patient. I try not to jump right in. Once I get the 15-minute opening range, I haven't taken a trade before 9:45 a.m. in a while. So it's generally once I get the 15-minute opening range, I'm waiting to see, do we chop around there? Do we break to the downside and then come up? Do we break to the upside and come down? I've got a couple stats from Edgeful that are really cool that I can show you on that I use to trade kind of counter to the opening range breakout. And then I see where are we at with VWAP, where are we at with higher time frame structure, and are we starting to sell off for the day? So for today, you know, as an example, what was my bias as we came down into this area right here? Long. We were long pre-market. Well, we were bullish pre-market. We consolidated up here. We sold off. And then we started to aggressively react around the VWAP. I'm looking long. This looked like a pullback before headed long. That's what I saw. We're above VWAP. Structure looks good to the upside. I flipped short right here as we came lower. This long failed. I ducked out halfway to the stop loss, flipped short, got the win to the downside. When we failed to move higher with this big wick, and you could see it on the tick chart, and we cracked these lows, my bias flipped shorts. Flipped too short. But I try to stay flexible. Again, all the way down here, like I'm okay getting long. I recognize it's counter trend, and for the most part, most of my trades are going to be with the trend. But I don't mind getting long if we got a real reason to. If it looks like we've really bottomed out, we've got higher lows getting put in, we're breaking highs, you know, we've got reasons to believe we're at least going to go back up and hit VWAP or maybe a high looking left. So I think for US indices, for the most part, staying flexible is important. Not marrying a bias coming into the trading day. Let the day kind of show its hand, let the market show its hand a little bit, and then start to decide, am I going to look long or short? I think for beginners, a very easy tool to use is VWAP, volume weighted average price. Slap that on your chart, standard settings, and, you know, looking short below VWAP, long above VWAP. It's a pretty simple rule of thumb. Most of the time, you're going to be following that recent structure and price action. So hope that helps, man. Forming a bias for the day. Again, start on the higher time frames, understand where we're at, what's going on. You know, do we have highs or lows that look like they want to be, you know, taken out? Do we push up overnight and maybe we're going to pull back and then continue? Are we absolutely selling off? You know, what's going on? So I'm going to use this one as I'm going to use this one as an example. I'm not cherry picking because it's just happening right in front of us. But take a look at the close on this one, guys. I'm not looking for an attaboy. There's nothing magical. On another day, this dumps, right? But the close down here, right at this level, was from Bookmap. Look at how the market reacted from this. If there were multiple levels down here, if we had more time in the day, if we were blasting through levels really aggressively, maybe I'm holding this for the push lower. But today, and for this individual structure, looking at what we saw on Bookmap with really one strong level right here, right? That's the close. That's the level I'm trading towards. That's an area that I say I want to be out of this trade. More and more orders came on as we got closer to it. Right here, we came into it, traded it. You can see the big volume traded. If you zoom in, you can actually see price coming into it. You can see volume traded. You can use these special tool tips and see exactly how much is traded when and where and the whole deal. But look at that reaction, man. That's the power of Bookmap. Does it happen every day like that? Of course not. Does it work 100% of the time? No, nothing works 100% of the time. Just another tool. You might say, Zach, this looks ridiculous. I don't find it helpful. Way too much information. And that might be the case for you. You know, that might be true for you. So I think it's worth looking at if you're trading futures, especially if you're trading US indices. You want to use liquidity in your trading. maybe consider order flow. Even if you're not going to consider Bookmap, maybe you consider just a traditional depth of market. You know, you're able to read this stuff from the DOM. Bookmap just displays it in this really nice, clean Bookmap. You know, easy to read Bookmap. You know, lights up a level like a Christmas tree. You know, pay attention to that. So that's Bookmap. You guys want to check that out? Again, link in bio. I'll throw it in there again. Link in the chat. I'm a partner. Full disclaimer. Was using it before I was a partner and would be using it even if I wasn't a partner. Find it helpful. Again, in combination with price action, in combination with market structure and the other tools that I use. You know, no one single thing by itself. And again, just like any other tool in trading, it doesn't have to work all the time or even, you know, 90 or 80% of the time. Small quantifiable edge, you know, something happening a little bit more often than not, an ability to structure your trades where you make a little bit more money when you're right and lose a little bit less when you're wrong. Simple as that. But you guys got questions, feel free, hop in the free Discord. Happy to talk more about it. I'm doing a deep dive on a lot of different stuff with Bookmap. So I'm not the expert yet, but I'm planning on learning more and more about all the different tools they have to offer. 60% of the time works every time. Yeah. VWAP for NQ and ES set at 9:30 a.m. NY. Will that be the same setting for GC and CL or start of the session? So this is the standard VWAP indicator, right? This is volume weighted average price with the standard settings. You can use an anchored VWAP to NYSE session open, but that's not what I'm talking about here. I do that, and I oftentimes anchor VWAPs to highs and lows throughout the session, but that would be NY anchored VWAP. You know, different. So if you run the standard VWAP, which resets by session, let me show you what I'm talking about. You can see right there it resets at session changeover, right? You can look down on the chart. You can see the hour gap there. You can see the reset. You can see the reset right there. That's the standard VWAP that I utilize. You know, there's plenty of other settings and stuff that you can use. I think a combination of that and anchored VWAP can be helpful, especially if you're not using many other tools. Any other question, guys? Patience pays. Yes, it does. Yes, it does, man. Any other questions, feel free to ask. I'm giving away TopstepX combines in my free Discord for charity. Feel free, hop in. You can get free entries. You can donate to charity and get 1 entry per dollar you donate. I've got like almost nobody that donated. I don't mind being transparent. I think I got like 3 people entered so far. So you got a really high chance of winning. If no one donates, you know, I'll donate some money myself and I'll give out some combines and, you know, I'll decide if I want to do that again. But you got a great chance of winning, man. Repost it on Instagram or X. It's one of my last videos. You'll see it. It's got the blue shot of the 50K Top Step giveaway. And do something good for charity or don't. Maybe get an entry just for free. Help me out. Help yourself out. Help Top Step out. Other than that, guys, I'll be on Top Step TV live trading Tuesday of next week. I'll be continually trading here the way that I have live for free on YouTube, free Discord, not a VIP feeder program where I say, oh, I don't tell you anything about the strategy. I give you all that stuff for free. Analysis, charts every day, news alerts, questions answered, badass community of traders, not a whole bunch of BS. So, what's up, man? What's up? Found you from your time on Top Step. What's going on, man? Welcome in. I'm just wrapping up right now. We got to win. But all my videos are recorded, and you can go back and watch this one if you want to check that out. You can just skip through. But appreciate you hopping on, man. Again, I'll be back on Tuesday next week for Power Hour. We'll see what we can do. Trade with the big dogs. Yeah, man. Links to Bookmap, links to Get Edgeful links to Edgeful. Their handle is Get Edgeful. Links to Edgeful, links to Bookmap. I'm a partner for both those guys in the chat, in the free Discord. All the information. If you want to work with me one-on-one, last bit, feel free, hit me up. I work with traders one-on-one, not a course, not a preset. we're going to show you how to trade this magic strategy and you're going to be profitable and taking payouts. None of that BS, man. Real coaching, one-on-one and small group setting for upwards of 50 hours over the course of a month. You can book a free 30-minute call to talk to me about that. It's my only paid program that I have. Work with those guys for hours every morning and then throughout the week one-on-one. Interested in that? Feel free. Happy to work with you. Develop your trading strategy. Develop a real risk management plan for whatever accounts you're trading. Get you confident. Work on back testing, work on journaling, and put it to practice in the markets and help to make measurable steps. Help to really start to improve. You want to find somebody that turns $1 into $10 million and all you have to do is trade for 4 seconds a day. I'm probably not your guy. I'll leave that to the rest of them. But this was fun, guys. Glad we got a win on here. Some good conversation. I will talk to you guys soon. See you in Discord. See you tomorrow live again. And see you on Top Step TV next week. Have an awesome rest of the day.